Ukraine. Russia is carrying out a massive aerial attack on the country. Dozens of drones and cruise missiles have been launched, and all of the country is under air raid alert. Now, I want to show you these pictures, which are from the capital Kyiv, where, as you can see, hundreds of people have headed down to the subway to shelter. It's after those alerts were sounded in the capital and across the country. There you can see pets taken with the people who have gone down into that subway. Now, explosions have been heard in numerous cities, from Lutsk in the west to Dnipro in the east. Now, so far, at least 3 people have been killed. Now, we will be live in the capital, Kyiv, with our correspondent Abdul-Jalil Abdulrasulov, and he joins us now. Just, if you can, outline where these drone and missile attacks are happening, Abdul-Jalil.
The drones and missiles headed to a number of regions across Ukraine, including the western region of Lviv, in the south of the city of Odessa, in the north, as well as the capital Kyiv as well. In the early hours today, the Ukrainian Air Force warned its citizens, saying that Russian bombers, more than a dozen of Russian bombers that could carry cruise missiles, were in the air. And already at that time we were getting reports about Shahed drones, several dozens of drones heading towards different regions. And shortly after, we heard explosions in the skies over Kyiv, and it sounded like it was air defense systems engaging those drones and missiles. We still don't know the exact scale of the damage following this attack, and so far we only heard about 3 people who got killed during the attack, but clearly this number could rise later today. And what is interesting is that this attack happened early in the morning when people were still getting up, they were still at home, and some of them were already driving towards work. So a lot of people were caught off guard when the attack happened, and not everyone were able to get to the shelter, to the bomb shelters. And even though the warning did come early enough, some people may simply had no time to get to the shelter.
Yeah, we have seen pictures of people in Kyiv going down into the subway. Of course, at the start of the conflict, this was a regular occurrence where they went down into those shelters. But there has been a relative calm at times. So this, an escalation from Russia. Do you think this is related to the fact that Ukraine has gone into Russian territory over the last month?
Well, such aerial attacks have been happening frequently. It's not the first time when Russia launches such a massive attack targeting different cities in Ukraine. And of course, the timing of this attack is happening shortly after the Ukrainian incursion in Russia's Kursk region. And some observers are linking this attack to those events. But such attacks, as I said, have been happening before as well. So it's really hard to say whether it's linked directly to those events happening in Kursk region. But Russia have been targeting the energy infrastructure of Ukraine. They've been targeting other areas in this country a lot. And just yesterday, they hit a hotel in the city of Kramatorsk in eastern Ukraine, where several journalists were injured, including a British security advisor who was part of the Reuters team, who was there as well. He was killed in the attack.
I've just seen Ukraine's presidential chief of staff is calling on Kyiv's allies to allow long-range strikes on Russia after Moscow's attack. This is what Kyiv would like, isn't it? The Western governments who've given them the jets and the ammunition to allow them to attack Russia.
That is right. Ukraine have been repeatedly asking its allies to provide them long-range missiles to hit the targets inside Russia, including the airfields where those jets and bombers take off to attack Ukrainian cities. And Ukraine was saying that if they do get those weapons, it would allow them to defend its cities, to defend its citizens much better and prevent those aerial attacks, including prevent the attacks using cruise missiles and ballistic missiles, because they could target the airfields and the air bases. Of course, Some of the countries, like the US, allowed to use ATACMS long-range missiles, but also they limited to what extent they could use those weapons. So they limited the range, and they could only use those weapons within the border areas and not further. And therefore, Ukraine is asking now to give them long-range weapons such as Storm Shadows and other weapons that could hit targets deep inside Russia, and this would allow, as they say, to protect their cities.